Final Fantasy VII Rebirth takes you to the Gold Saucer, which is essentially Final Fantasy Las Vegas. And if you've played the original Final Fantasy VII, then you know that that means it's time to date your party. There are 6 potential dates that Cloud can go on in Rebirth, and while they're all worth seeing, this is the internet, so we gotta rank everything. So we're gonna rank every date from worst to best. So the date at the bottom of this list is with Sid, Vincent Valentine, and Kate Synth. So this one is weird because it's not so much a date as it is an excuse for Cloud to hang out with the boys, which includes Kate Synth for some reason. Unfortunately, this means that if you really wanted to get some one-on-one time with the Catman, I guess you're out of luck, you weird, freaky little person. Every date starts the same way, with someone coming to your door to invite you to a showing of the virtual reality play, Loveless. Then after the play, you get to ride a giant Ferris wheel with a laser light show called the Sky Wheel. And in this situation, that's when it dawns on you how awkward it must be to ride a Ferris wheel with a bunch of guys you barely know. Kate tries to rally everyone, but unfortunately, the whole crew is bored, with Vincent Valentine just straight up falling asleep. Then everyone just kind of yells at each other, and that's the whole date. It's actually pretty funny to watch, but it's ultimately inconsequential, so it sits at the bottom of this list.
Can we go any faster? This is torture.
And how do you think I feel?
Kate, zip it.
Why are you taking his side? I'm the one trying to make this fun. Open the doors! Let me open this thing!
Next up is your date with Yuffie. Now in the virtual play, Cloud becomes the main character, Alfred, and your date can potentially become the Princess Rosa. And in this case, Yuffie gets to play the part with her trademark exuberance. Then on the Sky Wheel ride, Yuffie gossips with Cloud about the history between him and Tifa before talking about a guy that she used to have a crush on. And I believe this is referencing a moment that happens early on in Crisis Core between Zack and a very young Yuffie in Wutai.
It was like I was firing energy blasts. After a few salvos, he shouted, "You got me!" And at the time, I totally bought it.
Shoo shoo ha! Take that, bad guy! Shoo shoo ha!
Ah! No! You got me!
At number 4, we put Red 13's date. Red asks Cloud to accompany him to the show because he's pretty sure that they're not going to allow a talking dog into the venue on his own. We then get kind of a big lore moment on the Sky Wheel when Red reveals to Cloud that he and Aerith were able to see the future until the Whispers arrived and stole their memories near the end of Remake. So that's a pretty noteworthy moment that happens here. Plus, during the Sky Wheel ride, you get to see Red act like a little kid, and that's just adorable.
There's no point in wasting our time worrying about fate if we can't change it.
You're right. Still, there is one thing I need you to remember. You have to keep Aerith safe.
Our third favorite date is the one with Barrett. There are some important moments that occur on this date. First, Barrett has a different reason for wanting to attend the play. The showing of Loveless at the Gold Saucer is a recording of a production of the play that the audience watches through VR headsets. And this recording features friend and fellow Avalanche member Jessie, who died when the plate fell on top of her in the Sector 7 slums. So Barrett wants to see one of the few plays that she got to star in before she dedicated herself to taking down Shinra. Needless to say, seeing Jessie again leaves him in tears, showing a much more vulnerable side of the big man. And in the virtual play, Barrett takes on the role of the main bad guy. And as the big song is being sung, Barrett, still in full costume, puts his arm around Cloud and they sway to the music, and I'm not gonna lie, this moment alone is why this is at number 3. Then, during their Sky Wheel ride, after Barrett kinda geeks out about the chocobos,
Incredible!
He tells Cloud about his lost love Myrna before telling Cloud that if he does have feelings for someone, he should tell them before it's too late. It's not an especially important moment in Rebirth's story, but seeing the softer side of Barrett along with getting a bit of bonding time between he and Cloud does make this a worthwhile date.
Yeah, well, the lesson here is once you find your soulmate, you never let him go. So, who is it?
Who's what?
You know damn well what I'm talking about. Why do you always have to overthink things? That ain't no way to live. You gotta just go for it sometimes.
You mean like you do, all the time?
Touché.
Now, depending on where you fall on the whole Final Fantasy VII love triangle, your opinion on what the top 2 dates should be may vary. But we place Aif State at number 2. I haven't mentioned it yet, but during the play, there's a call for a Maycomb Bloom, which turns out to be a stage name for Aerith, who sings the big musical number in Loveless. There's some typical romantic awkwardness on the sky wheel between Aerith and Cloud before the two have a cuddle while the ride ends. Again, if you're someone who would rather have Aerith wind up with Cloud, then this is the date for you, and there's a few interesting moments regarding Zack that spice things up.
Hey, did Tifa talk to you about,
Hey, Aerith? I talked to Cloud. He said he remembers Zack. How they were friends 5 years ago.
What? I don't think so. At least, not about anything important.
And our favorite of the Gold Saucer dates, of course, is Tifa. This date actually has a lot going on. Much like Barrett, Tifa also has an emotional response to seeing Jessie in action during Loveless. Then in the play itself, Tifa gets to play the part of Rosa the Princess. And during the big musical number of Loveless, there's even a little bit of hand-holding there. Before we get what we all were hoping to get on this date, which is the big Cloud-Tifa kiss. This is the only date that actually turns romantic instead of people just awkwardly talking on a Ferris wheel. And it's the Gold Saucer date that more than likely is considered canon. For more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth news and guides, be sure to check out thegamer.com. I'm Jamie Latour, and we'll see you next time.